3-star Michelin level in Paris, super high pressure. How accurate and fast did you need to be a chef de partie there?
Immediately, immediately. Actually, I mean, in the first day you come there, they put you there and like work. You don't have like a protocol or anything. You know, no papers. You didn't do it for the money. You did it to learn.
Last year, the Michelin Guide, first time ever, Doha, they called your name and the name of the restaurant. How was that feeling?
I'm not usually stressed. And I said, I don't feel anything. I mean, I'm cooking every day the same. I deliver the same. But believe me, when I was sitting there, I cannot describe it. I mean, because you don't feel it coming, but when it's there, your breath taken, the heart beats fast. In my head, I can make a speech of a president. But when you come there, I was like...
Hello, my friends, and a very warm welcome back to another episode of the Chef JKP podcast. Season 11 keeps delivering incredible voices from across the culinary world, and today is no exception. First of all, how is everybody doing? What's been happening in your world? Do please let me know. What's been happening at place of work? What's the gossip? Have you been making memories? Or just simply, I don't know, trying to relax, make life go on. We're coming up towards the end of the year, which is a bit scary. By the way, talking of, I want to talk about toast just for a minute. Everybody always asks me, how do you have your toast, James? Well, I'm gonna give you a little secret, okay? I love sourdough, and I'm sorry, I am one of those. I love sourdough. So when you have sourdough, for me, well grilled or nicely toasted, fermented, soft butter across, and then, of course, sea salt. Yeah, sea salt, even in the morning. Yum. I know, I'm weird, but I have to tell you. So that's the secret, all right? Any cafes next time who see me or if you want to try your toast out on me, let me know. I'll be there. Before we start, don't forget, if you want to support the show, which 95.999% of you do, then please click on that all-important button on YouTube, press subscribe, ding, 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 or click the follow button wherever you get your podcasts, as it helps us to grow and we can keep on providing the content that you love. That is the only thing we shall ever ask of you. So what's happening today? Well, today's guest takes us to Doha, where French finesse meets Middle Eastern soul. I'm joined by Chef Fabrice Rosso, the man behind Michelin Starred IDAM, a restaurant that redefines dining in Qatar. Fabrice is known for his ability to combine refined technique with bold creativity, crafting dishes that speak both to heritage and innovation. He is a true culinary storyteller, pushing boundaries while honoring tradition. And this conversation promises to take you into the mind of an artist. And you'll see, when speaking to Fabrice, you can really feel the passion for his craft. It really comes through. He's incredibly talented, and he wants to shine a spotlight on the gastronomic scene in Qatar. Buckle up, legends. This one is fast and furious. Time to rock and roll.
Hello everyone, I'm Fabrice, the executive chef from IDAM by Alain Ducasse. If you like the podcast and you enjoy what we said, please subscribe and follow.
Fabrice, a very warm welcome to the show. Now, as is customary, can you please tell me your first or favorite childhood food memory?
Thank you, Jen, for having me. My first memory, I would say, comes from my grandma, because she's Indonesian. So actually, when she cooks, the whole table is full. And quite small, we used to go, my mom used to bring me to Holland to see my grandma. And I was actually cooking with her. I was cooking with her the whole day, staying with her, tasting everything. And this is what gave me, I think, the love for food.
So, but tell me, Indonesian sounds quite
Yeah.
unique. Tell me the types of food.
Oh, you have everything. You have like gado-gado. Actually, it's Indonesian, but I think as well on a bit on the Dutch side. It's not like purely Indonesian because I was in Indonesian last year and I didn't really find exactly what I remembered. I prefer what I remember, by the way. But there are a lot of things that I like there. I mean, the gado-gado, the nasi, how you call this? They make like a mackerel with a bamboo. It's really nice.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And so from a young age, you really sort of loved food and
Yes.
were around food. So tell me, where exactly in the world are you from?
Okay, I'm born in Nice, south of France. I was raised there. I did my culinary school in Nice. But my mom is from Holland. My dad is from France. My grandpa is from Italy. And my other grandpa from my mom's side is half Hungarian.
Wow.
And my grandma is Indonesian.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I was raised in France. I finished my school in France. And then I moved, actually. I went to work wherever I wanted to.
So then I want to know, first of all, when you were growing up in Nice, which is a beautiful part of the world, you have the old town and the new town. And, you know, the south of France is famed for a lot of things. But as a child and as a teenager, how was it growing up there?
Actually, it's so nice there that you don't want to work. You only want to stay there on holidays. I mean, now when I go there, I really enjoy it. How was it when? Okay, I finished I had a child who was I say a bit rough, not in a sense, but I didn't know really what to do, so I was hanging out a lot. Then came again that passion that I had for food and the love for food. So then I did my school. I finished the school there, and then what I did actually is that I worked in what I believe were the best places in south of France. So, by example, I worked in Monaco. There was one Michelin Star in Robuchon.
How old were you when you started? So
Yeah.
if you take me back to your, let's say, culinary school, at which age did you join culinary school first?
I didn't really like school, so I left it as soon as possible. I was around 14.
Uh-huh.
So at 15, I joined the culinary school, and then I graduated at 17.
Okay, so 3 years, right?
Yeah, actually 15 to 17. 1 year I didn't do anything.
Sorry, 15 to 17,
Yeah.
sorry.
My
Okay.
dad didn't really allow me to become a cook because he said that this is not. He didn't believe in that job, and actually asked me to think for 1 year. So for 1 more year, I stayed half at school, half at home,
Sure.
to really be sure of my decision.
Uh-huh. So I want to know, when was it that nobody else but yourself, when did you make the final decision to say, do you know what, culinary is for me?
I think around 13, something like 13, because the last year I already know I wanted to do that, and then I exposed that idea to my parents. My mom was okay with it, and my dad really asked me to rethink it, to really be sure to not go to higher studies, and because once you don't do them, it's hard to go back.
Yes, yes, of course.
So I understand that he was worried about, but after now, I mean, now we understand he's very proud of what I'm doing. So
course.
everything went well, let's say.
Yes, yes.
Until now.
So you did your school, and then your first job was in a Michelin starred restaurant?
Alors, my first job was in le Grand Hôtel du Cap Ferrat. They had a one Michelin star restaurant. The chef was Didier Agnès, MOF, meilleur ouvrier de France. I didn't actually, when you do a CAP, there's a study that I did, it's like you work for 3 weeks and 1 week you're at school. And you do actually, depending where you work, but by example, in the Grand Hotel, I did like 3 or 4 months. Then I went to l'Oursin Bleu. Then I went for 3 or 4 months again, but then I really worked like 12 hours a day.
Okay.
And then I went to a famous place that is in Villefranche-sur-Mer, is where we lived at that time. It's called La Mer Germaine, and there I did the rest of the internship school. And there we really worked like 12, 30, 40 hours at my age. So at 16 years, something like that, yeah.
So I want to know, when you were, that age of 16 years old, and you stepped into those professional kitchens, how was the attitude with the older chefs? Because you were the young guy, almost apprentice,
Sure.
coming into those kitchens.
Yes.
Was it an aggressive environment, or were they more wanting to teach you?
I believe that depends where I worked, but there were some that were quite aggressive. Actually, this is why I left 2 of them. I will always remember the one that I left. I was a bit choleric at that time, I didn't have patience. But I don't have that much today. Even less before. And actually, I did something wrong with the crepe Suzette.
Right.
And the guy went so ballistic that he put me in a cave, up in a cave. And he said, when the service is finished, we will get you. And but he forgot me. He forgot me. So I stayed I think 2 or 3 hours. And then I said, and they got me then after. And they told, sorry, we forgot you. And I said, you know what, I resigned. And I immediately gave the letter. I went home, asked my dad, I said, listen, help me to make this letter. I want to go. We made the letter. He came with me, and this is how I left the place.
Okay.
So there was that, but there was as well, in La Mer Germaine, that there was as well, they did want to teach you, I learned so many things. Even in the things that are not good, you still learn, But it really depends. The environment depends of the chef, actually.
Okay. So then when tell me a sort of kitchen that you really started to like. So, you'd worked at a good level. After 16, 17, where did you go?
So 17, I was in a very nice place. It was called Le Royal Riviera with Bruno Le Bosch. This is where I did a competition. It was called Les MAF. Les MAF is for Meilleur Apprenti de France, because at that time when I graduated, I had the best note of the academy. So they proposed me to do this this concours. Mm-hmm. And that was a nice place. So it was really nice. It's not my favorite place because, I was still, I was commis when I graduated there. And after 1 year, I became chef de partie. So it went really fast. But it was a palace, but not a one Michelin Star restaurant. So it was good, but it's not my favorite place. It became really interesting when it started to go to 1, 2, and 3 stars. There was a lot of pressure, but what I saw really excited me, actually.
So then I want to know, tell me about, the time that you started to work for, in Monaco for the famous Monsieur Robuchon, 2 stars. Tell me about that time.
That was a really funny time. Actually, I wanted to work in a 2 Michelin Star restaurant, but at that time they didn't have place. So they had the Yoshi, that was the Japanese. And I agreed to start there. And we had a chef, he was called Yamazaki. He was something. He was something. I don't know if I can say everything here, but I think I never saw him sober.
Oh, okay. One of those.
Yeah. But that was.
But he was good?
A character. Apparently, he was really good. But no, it was 1 Michelin Star, and he was still good, but apparently he was much better before.
Right.
But if you ever have seen a Japanese cartoon manga, that is this the Hawaiian shirt,
wow.
Everything. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
So how did you manage to sort of land from that place into the actual Michelin starred restaurant?
Alors, this is what I said. At that time, even my dad told me, listen, if you want to do that work, you have to go for what is best. So, but I couldn't go immediately to a 3 Michelin star restaurant. At that time, it's not like today. Today, there aren't chefs anymore left. It's very easy to get chef. But when I started, it was opposite. The places where I wanted to go, they had CVs, the whole table full. So I did apply, and it didn't really work. So I was like, okay, you know what you do? You start with 1, then you go to 2, and by 2 after you do a while, and then you go to 3. So I did Robuchon for 1 year in 1. So this Yoshi in Robuchon. And then I applied for La Chèvre d'Or. That was 2 Michelin Star. And that place was known in whole south of France to be the hardest place. When I applied there, everybody told me, Fabrice, you're nuts. This is really hard. Yeah.
So how old were you?
So then I graduated 17, 18, I was around 19, 20.
And so tell me about, the pace of the kitchen, the
was-
precision of the kitchen, service, was everybody quiet? Were they focused? Was it crazy in the kitchen?
That's I don't know if you know Es Village. First of all, it's like a medieval little village on top of the rock. So you needed to do cardio because they deliver down the vegetables, the food was down, and you brought everything up in the village, and the stairs were like that. So before starting any mise en place, you had 2 hours of cardio. Not lying, really 2 hours. The hours were around 16, 17, and this is where I first had so much stress. Let's say if I was off one day before, the day where after I should have worked, I could not sleep the whole night. I had like a knot,
Uh-huh.
We had that chef that I really admire, and I'm really good with him now. And actually, this is one of the places I learned the most at that time. It was called Ronan Carvarec. And the ambition was 3 Michelin stars. So I mean, he put everything on the table, but even himself did it, to himself. I mean, even his private life maybe suffered from it.
Right.
He wanted that. That was the objective, and he was really tough on us to achieve this. And he was always dressed in black, and we were in white. And when you see the blackboard behind you, you can cook, but when you see that, you can't cook anymore. Everything goes wrong, The pan fall, the thing. That's just when he arrives,
Oh, wow.
That is the stress, the level of stress that we had.
Yeah. And how many were in the kitchen at that time?
Well, we started, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to say a number, but I think I'm right in what I'm saying. We started at 17 and we finished the season at 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then in terms of the menu, so I'm sure it was a seasonal menu.
Sure.
But was it more gastronomic tasting or was it a la carte?
Actually, it's funny because now we go more for the menu, the tasting menu. But at that time, and in that place too, was everything. A la carte, menu, starter. Yeah, it was a circus.
That must have been tough.
It was really tough. I promise it was so tough. Like I said, I couldn't sleep at night and we were in the kitchen. And I mean, when I arrived in the kitchen, I put the shoes, I put the laces and you run. You don't look at anything anymore. You run. And in the kitchen with all those tensions, but I think this is not, everybody says it at that time. That things can go a bit crazy in the kitchen. Huh?
So 16, 17 hours a day.
Yeah, for sure.
Fully stressed. You were working 6 days a week?
We had 2 days off.
Okay, so at least you had,
yes,
one day to sleep, one day to sort of semi-recover. And what was the position that you started in that kitchen?
Demi.
Demi. And how long did you stay there for?
2 years. But actually, there are seasons because the restaurant is closed during the winter time. So the winter time we went to Val d'Isère. So named to cook, but it wasn't. I don't know if you really cooked something at that time. We tried to cook,
okay,
but there was a bit of the relaxed time. Let's say there was long paid holidays.
But you needed that, no? Because of the stress before.
Yeah. And we spent all our money in Val d'Isère, and we came even more tired.
Yeah. But then, I mean, 2 years is serious. I mean, 2 seasons still. It's a lot of learning, a lot of lessons. And tell me, did you do all of the sections in that particular kitchen?
Alors, I started with cold section the first season, and then that is pure luck. I moved to the sauce section, and that's a section that everybody wanted. So I was at the sauce section with one other demi and one commis, but it was not the work. I mean, we had all the fish to fillet, to prepare, to cook, as well all the meat to prepare, to cook. Then all the sauces, and when I say sauces, there was everything. I mean, like 20 sauces. On some dishes, there were like 3 sauces, plus all the sauces to make a mise en place, because beef stock, beef sauce, chicken stock, écume, everything we had to do with 3 people.
Oh my God. So that was intense.
Yeah, really. But you learn everything, After that, you create like a barrier. Nothing can touch you anymore. Especially
at that level.
The first, I would say, very honestly, I think the 3 months or something, I was screwing all the cuissons, but I was so upset of myself. I screwed it, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4 times, and I was like, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not good, I came to the vestiaire, people were talking, laughing, and I didn't talk. I went home pissed at myself, starting to think, what's wrong with me, And one time, I don't know what happened. I missed maybe 5%, 10%. The 90% were good. I don't know how it happened. I think there's a part of talent, but there's a lot of practice in everything. And the practice, sometimes you don't see it, but you're getting better without seeing it. At some point, when the cuisson is really good, then it's good,
But do you think that's because, you put pressure on yourself, that, you didn't see how good you were getting because of the stress, maybe?
Maybe. I think that the pressure that you put on yourself is obliged, because you can have people screaming at you the whole day, but if you don't want, it's like you scream on a donkey, you will still not move forward, So it's a mix of the pressure that they put on you and the pressure that you put on yourself. And at some point you get to something that comes out good.
So after that time, where did you decide to go?
So I did my 2 years, and actually the whole team that I was working with, and we were very close. When you see people 16 hours a day, and then the 16 hours didn't finish in the kitchen, they finish in our accommodations. And actually, those people, I still have contact with them. It's more than 10 years,
Yeah.
I've seen them nearly 24 hours per day. And everyone was leaving, and I felt, okay, it was time for me to leave as well. I don't know why in my head I thought about Switzerland. I think because Switzerland had Michelins as well. It was not far from my home. It was the first time that I leave my country, and the salary were good. So I said, okay, this is a good combo. Let's try it. So then I went for Sierre in Switzerland, in restaurant Le Terminus, de Michelin Star with Didier de Courten. I'll not lie to you, I stayed 1 year, I didn't like it.
But in that kitchen, again, did you manage, was it demi position, CDP?
No, CDP.
And which section?
CDP call section.
Okay. And how many people were in that kitchen? Was it international kitchen or was it mainly Swiss or?
A lot of French and a lot of Swiss. Not much other French and Swiss, basically, mostly.
And was it lunch and dinner operation?
There was lunch and dinner. That was a 2 Michelin star. But I really like that concept. But I think it's done more and more. One kitchen produce the Michelin star food and at the same time the brasserie food. So same kitchen, but there are people that are responsible of the bistro brasserie and people that are responsible of the thing. But everything comes out the same kitchen. It's a very smart thing if you're owner, you know?
True. If you're the owner, of course. But then, again, you understood, Michelin pressure, let's say. How was it in Switzerland? Was it different? Was the chef more aggressive or was he calmer?
In Switzerland, they relax. They speak like that, you know. I mean, it says a lot of how they work. I mean, everything is different. They are more relaxed. They see the things differently. Sure, there was pressure, but not the same pressure I had in Holland or I had in France, or it's really different. The only thing that I dislike there is that village was really small. Was from my opinion, I mean, some people must love this village and I should not say that, but I find it very boring. I was really bored. I didn't have much interaction with the people there. The chef was a hygiene freak. I mean, every week we were with a sponge cleaning the floor with a sponge on the legs, on the 4 legs. And I was like, okay, that's not for me. Yeah.
So then 1 year done.
1 year done.
What did you decide to go back home then or something else?
Alors, I did go back home a bit because after that I said to myself, I will not go to a place just because of the 3 things I thought were good. So salary next to my home and Michelin. I would target the place where I really, really, really want to go. And there were, at that time was the 50 best and the guide, and it's easy. Huh? You open the thing and there were like restaurants that are like Cancelar Can Roca, restaurant like that I was, I sent my CVs everywhere. A lot were, okay, this is only internship, if you're good, we can keep you. It's very difficult because they tell you, okay, you start an internship. Unpaid, exactly. You pay for your accommodation and etc. And if you're good, we keep you. We had that. Then I had other issues with visas because I applied in restaurants in US. So there was the visa issue. I applied to restaurants in Australia, like Attica, visas issue. Okay, then I was like a bit stuck. So I was in France. I became chef actually in a rooftop restaurant, like absolutely not my type of thing, but I took that job like a holiday a bit,
right.
Because rooftop party, a lot of going in, out, you do a bit what you want. And in the meanwhile, I was sending all those CVs. And I didn't have any positive, from what the place I wanted, no positive feedback. So I called my mom actually. I said, what do you think? Because there was that restaurant really famous in Holland, who passed actually very sadly, Johnny de Boer. The Librea. So I did apply there, and same. They said, or they didn't say same. They said, if you can wait 6 months, we will have an open vacancy. Can you imagine 6 months for open vacancy? Now it's the opposite, Now it's please come and work. So I could not wait 6 months anymore. So my mom said, you know what? Try the list. It's a 3 Michelin star restaurants, a bit same level as Librea. And I wanted to go as well a bit closer to my Dutch family that I didn't see so much. And then I started there as a CDP. I started CDP in the Librea, 3 Michelin star restaurant, and then something completely different than what I knew,
So you did end up working there?
I ended up working there in the list. Yes.
And so how was that?
Completely different. I mean, it has nothing to do with French cuisine. It's not even Scandinavian with, the fermentation and everything. It's not French because French is more like we cook all together, a bit ragout, sauce, The Dutch cuisine is more a cuisine where you arrange, you make a bit like a German cuisine, where you make all little things and then you arrange them on the plate.
Okay.
It's rarely cooked together. In France, we like to cook the things together. For example, we have a dish now, is a lobster with a pea cream, and then we make a ragout with XO of lobster elbows smoked, and the peas, and then we take the pods of the peas to make jus, and we cook all together. That doesn't exist in Dutch cuisine. In Dutch cuisine, would be more like I'll give you something. You put a hamachi with a jelly, creams, cucumber pickles.
Yes.
That is the kind of thing they do. So when I went there, I was like, okay, that is weird. I mean, I was like, in the beginning, I found it very weird. I said, that's not really cooking. I mean, there's agar everywhere and gels and jellies, French, and what am I doing here, And it was really hard as well. And after, I think 3 or 4, 5, 6 months, I started to really enjoy the cuisine. I was like, okay, this is funky. It looks really good. 3 Michelin Star, and I started to be very close to the chef, Jacob Jaburma. And after that, it went really well. I stayed 2 years, ending sous chef, responsible of the kitchen. The chef had a lot of other businesses where he did audits, in other restaurants. And 2 days a week, the kitchen was mine.
Oh, wow.
Yes, as I was like 22, 23, something like that.
So you must have had a great time.
Yeah, but it's a small kitchen. We were 8,
But learned a lot also
Yes,
for
for sure.
management.
That, plus the chef loved to do events. So every month we went to really nice places. Santorini, or we went to Hungary, or we went to Spain, or to whatever place you can imagine. Where the event, they are really like a group of chefs. And like with Ducci Cucina, with... how is it called? Anschbach. They go everywhere in places and they do events, but always the same chefs. And he was always invited. So nearly every month during our weekend, we went doing that.
So you must have also been connected with a lot of other chefs.
Yes, I love that. Honestly.
Different cultures.
That was great. That was really great to meet all those chefs. They were like, every time you see them for an event, you're like really happy. Oh, how was it? And, we cook, but after always kitchen parties. So l'ambiance is terrific. Yeah.
So, but then, because I want to understand also what's interesting is that, you've done a lot of French cuisine, classic, to then go to, Switzerland, to then learn another type of cuisine, which is, Dutch cuisine.
Dutch, yeah.
So it must have been a culture shock in a sense that it's not as heavy as what you would traditionally expect.
True.
And in terms of the seasons and the produce in Holland, was it as good as what you'd expected, or was it better, or was it more seasonal?
They have some weak points and some strong points. I still believe that the terroir français, Spanish and Italian, I mean, this is top notch. But the Dutch have a strong point is the North Sea. When you look at the lobsters or the halibots or that type of white fishes from the North Sea, they're incredible. So, and they come so fresh. And the tarbot, when they come, they're like that stiff. They don't move. I mean, in France, I see the tarbot sometimes they're cooked already. He partied for 2 weeks, the guy. So no, that is a strong point they have. I mean, and the chef had, he was excessive in that, is in the freshness of the things.
Right.
I mean, at that time I didn't have the knowledge I have today, and I still don't have the knowledge that he has, I think. But when we had deer, by example, or venison. He took the thing and he was like, no, this is not good. This is male. He was in heat. He throw it back. I smell the same thing. I smell nothing. No, this is not good. This is a deer in heat. Send it back.
Wow.
So that is how precise he was on the freshness of the things.
That must have been a great lesson also for you.
Yes, everywhere I went
for the
was a great
future,
lesson.
right?
Everywhere.
So then after Holland, again, where did the world take you?
That is really a coincidence. After Holland, I went to Australia to see a friend of the chef d'or that lived there now and happily with 2 kids. I went to see him, and this is where I fell in love with Attica. I came to Melbourne for holidays. I didn't want to leave the place anymore. I really liked it. But again, a visa and everything. And actually, someone called me from France 2 times. I didn't answer since holidays and all, but 2 times. And that lady left a message. So I did listen to it. And it was the HR of Yannick Aleno, Le Doyen. And she had my CV from someone, and she wanted to know if I was interested to work with them. And to be honest, I said, okay, let's see after the holidays. Because I didn't know someone at, since since Robuchon, so come back to a few years. Yeah, that magazine was Yam, and Alain was top class, top notch. And I always said at that time to my ex-partner, I said, one day I will work for him, But I forgot that, I forgot it. And then I remind myself saying this, and I said, Fabrice, you're just stupid, you're not answering, and this is what you wanted to do. But I was already sous chef in Holland, everything was going well, those party things and all, And I said, no, but you have to stay true to what you ever said to you,
Uh-huh.
So I called the lady and I said, okay, I'm ready for an interview. I went to Paris. I did a trial for 3 days. This is the heaviest shock I ever had. Heaviest. I came there, I was sous chef from Holland, and then I came to Aleno, and then all the white hats and like military, the kitchen. And I came there like a little guy that was going to school, a little boy to school. I was sous chef, and I said, "Who are you?" I was like, "I'm Fabrice." Okay, for what you here? For the role of sous chef, not credible at all, And okay, go and change yourself and come. Wow, I was there. I was like, okay, this is why I applied for sous chef. Yeah.
But the thing is, for people who don't know, so Yannick Aleno, Le Pavillon Le Doyon, so 3 stars Michelin at the pinnacle in Paris.
Yeah.
The capital of gastronomy. So tell me about that interview.
So I had to do. First, I started with the trial. I think it was 2 or 3 days. Of course, when you come to the hotel, you can't sleep because next day you have the trial, So you're already so
Yes.
tense that am I going to be good enough? And I wasn't wrong because when I came there, like I said, I had a shock. So, okay, I go in the kitchen and they put me at the cold section. And I applied for a position actually as sous chef, but you had all those ancient CDPs that wanted to become sous chef too. So they don't give you any presents, So
they've been there for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yes, they have been there for years, and then you come like a new one, and you're gonna take the position that they wanted to have.
Right.
So believe me that they're not there to be
help you.
especially kind to you, So I did the thing. So what you do is actually you stay at the pass, you help preparing some dishes. Actually, you don't really work a lot, but I think an interview like that where you're in the kitchen is more to see if everything works well there. If you have some skills, that is how it is. You don't ask someone to prepare anything. Anyhow, so I did those 3 days, and then I had this interview with the HR, and we sat down, and she told me, she said, "You're very young." I think she said, where you worked is 8 people in the kitchen. This is a very bigger brigade. You're too young to be sous chef. And I wasn't upset, but I said I didn't think that's fair. Because it shouldn't come with age, It should come with what you can do, experience. And experience is not related to age again.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, what we can agree on is you do 6 months CDP, so step back, and if everything goes well, you become sous chef. So this is what I agreed on. So you do a step back, not really good for your ego, but ego is not really very important at the end. And then you did that. So 6 months, I did CDP. After 6 months, I became sous chef. So
you proved yourself.
So I proved myself. But the 6 months of CDP, you have to take your teeth out. Huh? Like we have a French expression is take the teeth out. It means you have to go because they're not there, like I said, to be really nice with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look, if we take a step away from the team first, let's talk about, a 3-star Michelin level in Paris. Again, super high pressure. This time, how accurate and fast did you need to be a chef de partie there?
But immediately, actually. I mean, in the first day you come there, they put you there and like work. You don't have like a protocol or anything, no papers. I mean, this is like how you call it, Amazonia, like the forest, like you wanna live, work,
Bang.
Yes, it was really like that. It was like that.
And which section did you put?
Cold section.
So cold section.
It is the biggest section in Le Doyen because actually there's that thing that Aleno does is that it's called les extractions, les cryos. So this is that process that he does. and this is redistributed to the whole kitchen and all done by cold section. So the cold section part is huge, and there's always a little, not always, but a lot of dishes has a small side dish. The small side dish come from the cold section as well. It is the biggest section there. And to be honest, I think we should start at 8, but we did start at like 7. And I remember in Paris it's super cold and it was dark, and we had to take all those vegetables out of the fridge, out of the truck to bring into the fridge, you know. So we had that atmosphere already that everybody was shaking because it was super cold and it was super early and the sun didn't rise. And I think we finished at 12:30 or 1. I'm talking about 16, 17, 18 hours a day. And this time without 2 days off, like 1 day there, 1 day there. That was really intense, really, really intense.
Did you live close or far from the restaurant?
Alors, believe it, I had friends that they made a choice to live a bit farther because it's cheap. Paris is super expensive, you know. I mean, a flat of 20 square meters where you have the head in the kitchen and your feet in a bathroom to shower. This is how you live. It costs like 1,200 euros. Our salaries, our CDPs, I think is 2005 or 2008. So it's 50% of your salary, then you pay taxes and food and all the rest. So they make a choice to really sleep in a room and maybe 1 hour of metro. And I said, no, I will not do this. So I took that expensive flat and I lived literally at 10 minutes from the place. But
at least you had...
I didn't come there to get money.
Right.
I mean, you don't, at that time, at that age I had, and when I did that, you didn't do it for the money. You did it to learn and to build a CV.
So also I want to understand, you know, let's say on a Monday, right? Let's say you were CDP, yeah? And everybody knew you as a CDP. And then on a Friday, you were sous chef. So when that happened, what was the change in you when they said you have the position?
Alors, of course, like every company, they didn't say, hey, Fabrice, tomorrow you're a sous chef, you know? You knock at the door and say, hey, you forgot me or what? So, yeah, we forgot you. Okay, then please try to remember, you know? So the months after became sous chef. What changed? It does change a lot, actually. I mean, especially for the new coming and even the CDPs. I mean, in a kitchen that even if you like someone or you don't like, you have this hierarchy. And this is how it works. Yeah. So you become sous chef. Okay, that's like that. I don't like you, but still... You say how things have to be, and I will do them. So that respect came immediately. The territory came with it.
Very good.
Yeah.
And the same guys who were not great to you when you first arrived.
I have some. I will not say names, but like now they are friends, by the way. Yeah. And I said, do you remember you? Nah, Fabrice is Italian. Nah, I was not like this.
Yeah.
Hey, it was a bit, man. No, you know how it is. You know. And by the way, he became now a chef in there and everything. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so look, and in terms of you know, Monsieur Alain, how often was he at the restaurant?
I think he's a businessman, so he's very busy. There were periods where he was there every day. I mean, he's not scared to take a knife. He has an idea. He comes in the kitchen. That is the most scary of him. Is when he has an idea. The best is if CDPs plus and sous chef you create. That means that nearly every bite and part of the starters were my creation. Of course, he tries. Maybe there's some modification, but it comes from us.
Right.
The scary part is when he says, I have that idea, try to do something like that. Because then you have to go in his mind. And before coming to what he has in his mind, sometimes it takes 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. We had a pigeon. We had a pigeon, a flat pigeon, I always remember, with celery and some type of orchidea flower, I don't know what, and cerise. It took 6 months. It took 6 months, half year. Because he had that in head and we didn't succeed to go with what he wanted. So the best is when you could create. But to come back to Easy in the kitchen, sometimes he's there for every day, and sometimes you don't see him for 2 or 3 weeks because he's maybe on other projects. But he has those chefs that are really strong because they don't have like one chef. They had like several chefs. Some people that are with him since 5, 6, 10 years, you know.
Right.
And they are all outlet because, okay, the restaurant is actually, you have Le Doyen, 3 Michelin Star restaurant. Then you have L'Abysse, 2 Michelin Star restaurant. Then you have now Pavillon, 1 Michelin Star restaurant. So actually it's one restaurant with 6 stars.
Crazy.
Yes, it's not a hotel. It's really a restaurant. But they all have different selling points. So those chefs, they have to be at some place. But if there's needed, they are all chefs. They're considered all the same. So when he's not there, I mean, you have all this around there. So it doesn't move, it's locked.
And how long were you there for?
2 years.
And within that 2 years, I can imagine that you were cooking for, presidents, royal families, VIPs. And at the same time, being in France and in Paris, how was the pressure to retain the stars? I mean, amongst the team and the chef?
I think at that time was beyond me. It was not in my category. In my category, what I had to do is make my party work in the kitchen, let's say. But all these star things, this is something I understand now, to be honest. At that time, you want, of course, like we had that chef was called Martino Ruggeri, and he said, this is the dish, this is how it has to be. And this is what you did. Or when you created the dish, you showed it one time and you had to reproduce this perfectly every time. But you didn't think about the stars. This is at the level of chef that they think about stars and how they have to change the vision or keep the vision or retain the guests. This is beyond us.
So you were there for 2 years. Why did you decide to leave?
This is a funny story. Actually, COVID came. I wanted to have a position and I didn't get there in that company, so Alain. I had a chef that was a 3 Michelin Star chef in Holland that proposed to open a restaurant in Antwerp in Belgium to do like they do in Pavillon, so open kitchen, and they wanted to have the Michelin Star. So I didn't get the position there. I said, okay, let's go there because I wanted to be a chef. I was done being sous chef and it took too long for me. So I said, okay, let's go to Antwerp, very nice city, Belgium, I know. Then COVID came, so project failed, of course. I stayed a bit home. I worked for a very nice family in Saint-Tropez, really nice. I love it's not my type to do like chef at home, like how you can call it.
Like private chef.
Private chef, not my thing, but they were so nice that the 2 months I had with them was lovely, and the connection is great. So after that, I had a call. I had a call back from a Dutch chef. He said, "You want to meet someone that is looking for a good chef?" So I recommended you. I said, "Yeah, sure." And it was Akram Ben Halal. He has a restaurant in Paris called Akram. And he called me and said, "Yeah, Fabrice, I have 2 projects for you. I'm looking for an executive. We're opening 2 restaurants, one in Zurich and one in St. Moritz. I would like to have you executive for both." I was like, okay, wow. From this to that, I said, okay, sure, I'm coming. Then he called me back after a few months. He said, that failed because of COVID again. But I have something in Qatar for you. I was like, what? In Qatar? Okay. Okay, look. Oh yeah, that's Qatar. Yeah, sure.
So you had no idea.
I heard Qatar of like everyone, but to place it on the map, impossible.
Okay.
I know was it someone in GCC or whatever. So I really, he was calling. I didn't want to look stupid. I was looking, okay, it's far. Huh? And then he said, okay. I said, okay. Tell me a bit more about the project. Okay, we want to develop our concept Shirvan that exists in Paris in Doha. You can be the executive. You will have to help to design the kitchen, hire the staff, create a database for all the products. The difficulty of having products here with suppliers, products, team, re-engineer the menu. And then the last came the salary. I was like, okay, I'm coming. Yeah. So I said, okay, I will do this. Interesting for the salary, interesting for the position, for the knowledge. Everything was interesting about the project, but it wasn't my type of food.
Okay.
It's not fine dining. No, it's not fine dining. So after that, I said, okay, after that, I have to go back to what I like. COVID is finished. You had 1 year. You learned a lot. You put some money aside. You can go whatever place, even if you don't get enough paid,
So you took the job in Qatar?
Yeah, I stayed 1 year.
Okay.
1 year.
And did you, I mean, again, I want to just ask you from a change of scenery, culture-wise, you're used to Europe, and now you're coming to the first time in the Middle East. So I want to ask you, how was the culture shock for you?
The first 6 months, I said to myself, what are you doing here? Honestly, I was like, you come alone. You know how it is. Everything is slow and you have to get used to it. And the project is not finished. And I was like, okay, everything was nice. Nice flat, everything nice, clean. Qatar is beautiful. People are very nice. You have everything, but you need to know how to appreciate it. And I didn't know. So 6 months. So what you're doing here? After it started to get better, I'm starting to understand the people, the culture, the place, and starting to learn how to appreciate it. Takes time, Sometimes you don't know how to appreciate things. After 6 months, much better, much better. We developed the restaurant. Restaurant was going very well, but like I said, not my type of food. Not my type of food. Not my type of environment. I mean that restaurant is from a big company, so it's ruled like a real estate. So doesn't go with F&B. F&B needs to be fast, efficient. Real estate is something on project that takes time, that it doesn't go together. And I told myself, okay, now it's time. You make your experience. Let's go back to what going back to France. Then from nowhere, this is life. This is incredible. I encountered someone that was the previous executive chef from the restaurants of Alain Ducasse in Qatar, Philippe Duc. We met in, I don't even remember where we met. And we talked. He said, it's very, you're leaving Pity because we are looking for a chef for IDAM restaurant, fine dining from Alain Ducasse that is reopening because it was closed for 2 years, COVID and renovations. And I said, okay, tell me a bit more about the restaurant. Yeah, the best restaurant, the big restaurant in Islamic Museum. I started to Google. I said, oh yeah, it's really nice. Of course, Alain Ducasse. And I said, okay, what do you want me to do there? Yeah, I'm looking for a head chef. We are reopening the restaurant, but we really want like fine dining food, proper fine dining food, French fine dining. And after I thought, I said, look, this is a beautiful tool. I mean, you're working for Chef Alain Ducasse, the kings of the chefs, in Qatar. So because I did start to enjoy Qatar, and I have that incredible tool where I have carte blanche to do what I want, what I can. Of course, you have the guidelines of the group. In the beginning, all my menu was really checked with the loop, to because I need to understand the vision of the chef. We have certain things, but after a while, it went the menus are mine, So I mean, how can I leave the place?
So look, Fabrice, for people who have never been to Qatar, right, and specifically to IDAM, can you just give us a sense of, or how would you describe the place and tell us exactly where it is located?
Okay, it is located in Islamic Art Museum in the Corniche. So this is the museum that you see everywhere in the Qatar Airways planes. And we're on the 5th floor. So it's a restaurant that has been designed by Philip Stark, and that is completely under the umbrella of Mr. Alain Ducasse. Our cuisine is, I would say, a contemporary French fine dining, but I try to include as much as possible local ingredients. But there is as well a little touch of Middle Eastern, of something that I've seen somewhere where I travel. By example, now I have that lobster that is glazed with curry, with tandoori. This is because of my team that is mostly Indian, Sri Lankan. Of course, you have the local trends. I make like a little shawarma, but it's not really a shawarma. It is like a truffle, cabbage, celery, and a truffle cream, but it has an aspect of a shawarma and a bit of crispiness with, and there is a bit of curry powder, So there's a bit of a twist in what we do.
So also, just to put things into context, so the way we met is that I was filming for the Qatari Tourism Board.
Indeed.
For the first time, that the Michelin were coming. And we were sort of having that conversation. Yeah. So I came into the restaurant, and the restaurant is an incredibly beautiful space, beautiful tall ceilings. And of course, you have that classic Charvet range as well in the kitchen. True. And the kitchen is, beautifully kitted out. And when I first arrived in that location, it was breathtaking. It's really one of the most iconic locations, I think, in Qatar in itself.
Yeah, I believe so. And the view as well is incredible.
Amazing.
Yes.
But we ended up filming at 8 a.m, so it was. But it was a really incredible experience. Now you arrived there in 2022, right?
Yes.
So throughout that time, you were developing the menus, getting them honed in with not the limitations of the group, but within the guidelines of the group, right? And making sure that your team also were delivering the standards, not just from yourself, but from the group.
That's
right?
very exact. Yes.
So then last year, obviously the Michelin Guide, the first time ever in Doha, and then they called your name and the name of the restaurant.
True.
How was that feeling?
I could not imagine that feeling. Well, a few days before, even week, everybody said me, "You're stressed." I said, "Not really. I'm not. I don't get. I'm not usually stressed. Sometimes pressure, but not stressed." And I said, "I don't feel anything. I mean, I'm cooking every day the same. I deliver the same. It's not in my hands what's gonna happen." But believe me, when I was sitting there, it was not the same story. I was starting to sweat, and I was next to Eric Joader, the 3 Michelin Star from Scandinavia, and he was so nice with me because he lived that all. He said, "Fabrice, relax, it's gonna be fine." And Danny Garcia was there, so we were really well surrounded. And the chef from Yannick Aleno that I worked with, so we were really well surrounded, but still very stressed. And I cannot describe it. I mean, because you don't feel it coming, but when it's there, your breath taken, the heart beat fast. You lose your words,
You must have been like...
In my head, I can make a speech of a president, but when you come there, I was like, I don't even remember what they asked me. So stressed, So first of all, you didn't do anything, I do cardio every morning, but this time cardio lost it. And I was like, okay, what are you saying? Repeat. No, this is really, I think this is the first time. I don't know, let's see the second time. But the first time is very intense. Yeah, honestly. And that is, I wish every chef to have this experience. This is really something I remember much later.
But I mean, what an incredible achievement, and congratulations to
you.
yourself and to the team for achieving such an amazing thing. And I have to say, how has it been? So since you received the star, first of all, I want to understand about the Michelin effect. Has it impacted the business?
So in the beginning, we didn't see. I think we needed some a step back to really see what effect it brought. So let's say we had it in December. Then came the festive period. So this is actually a period that works quite well. So you cannot judge on that. And then came Q1. So let's say Jan, Feb, March, April, May. Poof, booming. I mean, if we doubled easily doubled, and not only in guests, as well in collabs or things coming to us. We call that collabs actually. In collabs, in guests, more views on the place. I mean, now most of our guests, we ask them, how do you get to know about us? And they say, we are here, stay over.
Stay over.
Stay over.
Yes, yeah.
But we saw you in the guide, or we saw you on internet, and we really wanted to try the restaurant. And now we have some people that do on purpose step in Doha instead of Dubai to come and eat at IDAM and then go to that final destination.
No, 100%. But I'm not surprised because Michelin really does that for restaurants, and I don't think people understand the power.
No.
And it's really exciting. But at the same time, what do you think it's done for Doha as a city? Has it sort of pushed the boundaries a bit more? Do people want to dine out a lot more?
I think it's still very fresh to give a real answer to that, because if you think about it, it's not even 1 year. And there are chefs, that are trying to have a project in Qatar to open a restaurant, but I see them as well leaving.
Right.
So there still is some gray area. When I talk to colleagues that are executive chefs and all, they're still under the umbrella of the hotel that maybe doesn't really understand or wants it. So they're always looking at the cost and the product that they're taking. But you have to be fair. If you want quality food, you need quality product. That is basic.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see that, and when I see still that a lot of people don't know what Michelin is. I mean, Qatar Tourism, Visit Qatar, they are doing a great job, and I believe it's very hard for them. They're trying to inculcate the people what Michelin is, and that is happening bit by bit. But imagine, I mean, the Michelin has been now for decades in Europe. Imagine they're here only 1 year. It takes time, It takes really time, and especially we are so far from this culture. So I think in time it will happen 100%, but we are still at a very early stage.
And I'd like to ask you, when you received the star, did you get any news from Monsieur Ducasse himself?
Yes, for sure. We did from the whole group. Actually, this group is really something that makes you feel like a family. And not because I'm working there. You have Mr. Ducasse, you have Pascal Ferraud, you have Douglas, the executive. I mean, they're all there. Of course, they're the boss. I mean, they're your boss, but it's so familial, and even the chef Alain Ducasse. The contact I have, and I didn't meet him so many times, but when you're with him, you really feel like more than a work thing. Yeah.
But it must be amazing.
So all of them, to answer to you,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, they were very proud. Only good words. Usually it is only good words, and if they say nothing, it's good. And when it's something bad, it's really you really fucked up. It happens too.
But look, the other thing I wanted to ask, I mean, obviously you have your style of food in that restaurant now. The team are solid, of course, because you're doing solid cooking every day. So what are the next steps, the next plans for the menu? Are you looking to push the boundaries?
Actually, this happened somehow as well after the Michelin. So when we had 1 star, everybody was really happy. We continue to do our work like we do, but I think, I don't know if it's entirely related to the star, but I think the star is as well a limitation where you can put yourself, It helps you to see what you can do more.
Right.
Because if you swim like in the water, you have no island, nowhere, you don't know what to swim to. So now you have a destination to go. And then I told myself that less is more somehow, so I need to purify, épuré, everything a bit more to go more to the sense of what I want to do. So we had 2 menus, we have 1 menu. We still have the lunch menu, I don't count it because we change it very often. But the 2 dinner menus became 1. We had a basket of 5 or 6 different breads. We came to 1 bread, but perfect. Fine, perfect. It's never perfect. Good enough in my opinion. I saw all those guests with all those breads and going to the bin and so much work. And this is not what we want to do. So we try to elevate the experience as well to have more connection with the guests. For example, we have such a beautiful verre in the restaurant that have been selected by Mr. Stark, and all those glasses that have been always decoration. Now we invite the guests to stand up and choose the glass what they want to drink in.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we have some classic, but some very funky. But it says a lot about you as well, actually. When you take the very funky one, you know how the guest is,
Okay.
And we do this, and we are creating like a little lab because we're awarded for the mocktails as well. But in our mocktail we use processes like extraction, concoction, fermentations, and these are all words for guests, but they should not be words. They should be as something that you can feel. So now we are creating a library with all our preparations that we use mixed, and we invite the guests to come and we show them, and they can try whatever they like to try.
How amazing is that?
Yeah.
So you're really evolving the concept.
To come back to what you said. Yes, exactly.
That's really incredible. And of course you've also won awards, as you said, for the non-alcoholic bar offering and that kind of thing. And do you get also a lot of different chefs from Doha or owners also coming into the restaurant to sort of understand what you guys are doing?
Yes, we had especially in the beginning, a lot of hotels, managers, and even chefs. Some of them, I know them, they're friends, so they come not only for that, they came as well later. So we had people that really came to see what we do. But the most funny thing is, this is the human. The human always need to compare everything, and this is in the nature. You cannot change it, you see. But this, you have to say what is true. They always go to IDAM or Jamawa. And then they make the comparison, and they love to do this. I say, okay, we come here and we compare both, and you cannot compare. I mean, it's different type of food. Everybody has his own expertise, but this is funny because this, to go back to what you say, people come to compare both because we are two restaurants with 1 star in the whole country.
But it's strange, that they compare because it's 2 totally different concepts.
Yes,
honestly, 2 totally different concepts.
Yes. But I told you, this is a human...
no, true. Yeah. But I think also if you've done your research, and if you've done your research and you know what Alain Ducasse and the group are all about, you'd understand. But I'm sure it's quite a funny thing. Now, for you, considering that you've been in the region for a few years now. You know what's happening in within the MENA region. What are the things that you'd like to see more of? What are your predictions when it comes to specifically, first of all, to Doha? What would you like to see more of when it comes to the dining scene?
So this is something I'm working personally on, is to import products straight from Rungis, because the paperwork is a hell, to be honest. They're very, very, very strict on the smallest hub. You have to find a Latin name to put it in a portal to be accepted. It takes 2 weeks. The time you travel, the test, the things are so fragile that they already come dead.
Right.
But now, bit by bit, we did find a way to import those products straight from France. But we are the only restaurant doing it in Qatar.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm pushing every chef I know, every restaurant to take the same products. Of course, they're costly, but there's quality. More we take products, more we will have a wide range and easy shipments coming to Qatar.
Right.
So this is something I'm working a lot on, and I would like to have those products, in Qatar. This is very important.
But what about then the culinary talent? And what I mean by that is the younger talent. How do you approach them? Do they understand what it takes to be a chef?
The mentality is very different than in Europe regarding this. My team are for sure passionate because they're with me for 3 years, and the hours that they do and the pressure that they have, I believe is more than in other places, and still they stick around. So they might like something about it, and maybe not only to be screamed at. I'm joking, I don't know, but they might like it, But I still see so many people, and I should not judge, because this is how things are. They come because it is a job and they need to get money, so they work, but you don't feel that they want to achieve anything in that industry actually. So what I think is, if we will have more chefs, not like me, or whatever chef that want to open a restaurant in Qatar with a hotel and have a fine dining and everything, this will attract more people to become as well that type of chefs. Today is still the market is still not how can I say? It's still not
Mature or strong.
mature enough.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Like compared to Dubai, by example, it's still very far.
No, but I think what's great though is that, without trying to do comparisons, I think it's very healthy. When you compare Dubai to Doha, and the fact that the guide is in both areas,
Sure.
I think it's fantastic. Also, you were saying earlier on about collaborations, and you get, let's say, famous chefs from all over the world. But me personally, what I'd love to see is, somebody like yourself collaborating with another chef from Dubai.
Sure.
Whether you come to Dubai or whether they go to Doha, because that would be quite an original kind of beautiful mix to have, because it's within the region.
Well, this is something, it's actually very recent, and I wanted to talk about it. We used to target Michelin Star chefs from other area like Asia or Europe or anything. But to be honest, some of those chefs are not even known in the GCC. They can be a superstar chef in France, 3 Michelin star, but believe me, I put them here, nobody knows them.
Right.
And actually, I realized not so long ago, because I started to think, what can we do to create even more visibility, There is a huge market in the GCC, actually. There are famous chefs with a lot of views that have incredible cooking, that have their own style. And this is something that we're going to develop in IDAM very soon, end of this year and coming next year. To invite guest chefs from Dubai and do collabs like that. It's beneficial for everyone, because if you think of it, Dubai and Doha is less far than Nice and Paris.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, correct.
But we think, it's 2 different countries, so you have a block. But it's not true, because even the guests, they fly from one place to another to just eat. So that is something that I'm really looking into for coming year.
But that sounds really exciting.
Yes.
For yourself and for the team.
For sure, the contact for everything.
And
everyone.
Everybody learns from each
Yes.
other. And I think that collaboration, brings things closer to the
Sure.
community. But also it shows people like Michelin and different guides that, it brings everyone closer.
Yes, it is a huge community. And everybody learns from each other, and everybody has the same passion. So, this we should even, work on this even more. This is something I really believe, but we are going to do it coming year.
That's
this
amazing.
is a very important point.
But
But I think also when I think about your journey, Fabrice, it must have been quite incredible. You know, the fact that you've come from Nice, and again a beautiful place of the world, lots of beaches, all of that kind of stuff. But at the same time, your family, they have that those different food backgrounds. To then come all this way to the Middle East and to actually put your French stamp in the Middle East and to gain a star, you know, that for the first year is something really quite incredible. You know, it must make you quite proud.
Yes, yes. I'm 100% proud. I mean, I'm proud of not only myself. I'm proud of the team. I mean, I have something. Every menu I make is documented. I have folders with the recipe, the cost, the pictures, and sometimes I scroll back just for me to remind what we did like 3 years ago. And look, I don't believe that you come out of the belly of your mom with one knife and 3 Michelin star. I mean, it's all about a learning process and continuing always what you do. And when you see the work we did those last 3 years and the menu we had 3 years ago and the menu we have today, the team I had 3 years ago to the team I have today, that are the same people, by the way, but how they changed and they evolved, this is something that makes me really proud. This is maybe the thing that makes me the most proud business-wise.
100%, because also they put a lot of trust in you, but at the same time, you put a lot of trust in them.
For sure.
And that's not an easy thing to do. And I think especially nowadays, trust is a very difficult thing to have.
So this is very hard. But without this trust, I mean, all those chefs that have many restaurants, if they don't trust the chef that is running the restaurant, they could not have all those restaurants. They would have to be stuck in one restaurant and not move. That can be the choice of certain chefs. Certain chefs say, okay, this is my restaurant, this is where I stay. It's like that, and it's very honorable. But some people, they want to develop and have restaurants all over the world. Why not? That is honorable too. But then you need to really trust your team. And then you need to be a fédérateur. And that is when you see that Mr. Alain Ducasse have done this forever. And he's one of the best at it, you know. I mean, he has restaurants all over the world, Michelin Star. And look at the chef that came out of him. Even the chef that didn't stay with him. I mean, most of those staff, they are in top league, you know.
Big time.
And so he's like you know, when you have in football and you take the players and you sweep them, and then, this is it's incredible, you know.
It's like you're right. It's like almost a talent scout.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, taking the best players and just
And he finds, that means that somehow he finds the talent in certain individual. So you need an eye for that, you know.
Very
or
true.
even if he doesn't have, maybe he can make you have it. You know, he take it out of you. Something like that. Some hooky spooky.
So, Fabrice, now we have come to the quick fire questions of the round. Now, the first question is always the most difficult.
Okay.
So I do apologize. Can you tell me your favorite ingredient?
Citrus.
What type of citrus?
Actually, all type of citruses in my kitchen. You find in nearly every dish, hidden or obviously citrus. Lime, kumbawa, yuzu, Buddha hand, caviar citrus.
Wow.
All.
Okay.
Yeah.
Croissant or pain au chocolat?
A croissant, please. What an insult.
Okay. Salade niçoise or pissaladière?
Ooh. I would like to eat the pissaladière with the salad niçoise. I love both.
All right, last one. Bouillabaisse or ratatouille?
Bouillabaisse. I'm a big fan of the bouillabaisse. I love it. And one of my first job, we were making bouillabaisse. It was the dish of the restaurant. If I don't lie to you, we did 100 kg fish per day. And I was cleaning it. This is how I learned cleaning fish.
Whoa.
It was a usine, 150 guests per service, 300 guests per day. I don't know how many liters fish soup, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, as of this moment right now, can you tell me your top 3 cuisines that you love to eat?
I like Asian a lot, so I will go. I will do Japanese, Indonesian, and at the end, I think I will still go for French.
Okay, very good. Then who would you say are your top 3 culinary heroes, but they don't necessarily need to be chefs?
I cannot call my mom and my grandma heroes.
Of course.
They're cooking, but let's say on a cooking scale, I mean, but you had one that you had lately in your podcast, Franzen. This I find them really incredible. Of course, Alain and Ducasse. I mean, those three, they are now. It changes, by time some people involved, but now for me, those are the three.
100%. So then, from all of your time and your career in the kitchen, and we know that kitchens and restaurants can be funny places at times. Can you tell me either the funniest restaurant or kitchen incident that you've seen or been involved in?
I have some. I don't know if I can tell them, but I had one actually that happened in IDAM. So let's go with this one. We had that the executive pastry chef Luca that came for observation in Alain Ducasse restaurants in Paris. But now this is not a trend, but this is the vision of the chef. What you have to reduce the sugar, the salt. You keep the product entirely without too much wastage. Of course, the butter, the cream, and everything. And actually, he got so crazy about that, the pastry chef, that he created a dessert. It's la coupe agrumes. So it's all actually skins of oranges, citruses, something very acidic, very bitter, and he wanted to remove completely the sugar, And actually, he was tasting this until he came to the dessert. And then the day where we have the testing, he didn't come, he didn't show up. And we're like, okay, where's Luca? And we look everywhere, nowhere. We call him, I'm the hospital. What did you do? I ate my own dessert. Because he has stomach issues. He had the ulcer,
No.
And he was eating that so much, he killed himself.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's very funny.
Wow.
That always stays, I mean, you broke your own stomach,
Unbelievable.
Don't be upset.
Yeah, don't be upset. Yeah, exactly. Now, for you, what advice would you give to any young chef who wants to work at a Michelin level?
To put the ego aside, be very patient and actually be determined like no one else. This is, I think, the only way you can really succeed. Doing things to other people for your success or evolving because you have stayed long, that on the long run, I mean, you cannot cheat. You have to stay true from who you are.
And the final question, what advice would you give to 16-year-old Fabrice Rosso?
16 years, I have no regret. All I did before, there are better things to do. But after 16, I will not change much. I think things happen how they happen, and I am where I am today. So I'm really happy with it. And how can I say? I'm not proud, but I'm reconnaissant from it. So
now, if people wanted to get hold of you through social media, how can they do that?
Yeah, I can just, I'm very accessible to everyone, honestly. DM me. I even have my phone number, email. I always answer to everyone.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll also put all of the details like Instagram
Sure.
and LinkedIn on the show notes so people can follow you.
Sure.
Fabrice, first of all, I want to say thank you very much
Thank you for having me.
for being here, flying from Qatar to come to Dubai. We feel very privileged and honored
you.
that you took the time to be here. I want to wish you all the very best of luck
Thanks.
with the restaurant. I know it's going to be super, even more successful, that you're under the helm of it. I wish you all the very best on behalf of the Chef JKP podcast. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm waiting for you there. Huh? I'm waiting you for at IDAM. Huh?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Fabrice, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much for sharing your story, your inspiration, and your incredible journey. IDAM is a phenomenal restaurant. Make sure you go and check it out whenever you are in Doha. It's been an absolute pleasure to really sit down with Fabrice and talk to him about all things gastronomy. And I have to say, the scene in Qatar is truly going to be magnificent in the next few years. I'm really excited to see what happens. And there's just so many talented chefs out there. It's going to be incredible. If you want to see more of what Fabrice is doing, head over to the show notes and you will find all of the links to maybe his Instagram, his personal address. No, not personal address. I'm joking. But you'll see all of the familiar links as always. Well, gang, that is the end of the episode. And the only thing I'll ask is, if you enjoyed it or you know someone who could really get inspired, then just share the show. And perhaps they will just take away so many lessons. But thank you so much for listening. As always, it truly means a huge deal to me. And again, by sharing it, we just want to reach it to as many people as possible around the world. And the other way, of course, you can support us is by picking up one of these beautiful thermos flasks. I have to say, they're incredible. They keep everything hot, cold, whether it's gazpacho, soup, chicken broth, you know, they're pretty cool. I'll put all of the links to the show notes, so just click on that and, yeah, you can purchase them for your team or whoever you want. All right? The only thing that's left to say is, this is Chef JKP signing out. Until next time, food is memories.